Okay, I'm just waiting for Tracy to get in. Asked to unmute. And we're waiting on Chris. Hi, beautiful.
Hello. I fixed my background. So
I love the effort you're going to nowadays. It's really, really appreciated.
thank you.
You geek. What's with all the cowgirl stuff yesterday? What was all that about?
Oh, it's the cook-off, the rodeo.
So what do you have to do?
What do you have to do? You just have to show up. There's a lot of food and alcohol and rides and stuff.
So one was intoxicated last night.
No, I don't drink. I've been sober for 10 years.
Do you like my little cup of coffee?
Hey, me too. Tea time. It won't show it. That's weird. Okay, here we go.
So small. These mini little cups. So these I stole from Portugal.
You can't see the other one. It's all
when I went to the hotel that I stayed at, I was like, oh, them cups are really cute. And they fit little espresso shots in. So I thought I'm going to steal them.
I know. I need a bigger one.
$300 a night for the hotel. I'm stealing the cups.
Everybody's driving or getting their lashes done.
We're just waiting. Mo, can you hear me?
Hello. Can you hear us?
Yeah, but your connection's really, really dodgy.
Really?
Has Mo got AirPods?
AirPod.
Has he got earphones?
No AirPod. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. That's better. That's better. I don't know. Let me introduce you guys first. Jordan Fisher is one of the most famous up and coming IFB bikini pros in the whole world. Everybody knows who she is, apart from you.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
She's cool people. She's part of our Nebula team, and she's also part of our little crew that we've got going on. Do you know who Mo is? Mo Shabaan.
Me? No, I don't.
Nobody know me.
Nobody knows
me either. It's okay.
Nobody know me.
So Mo is the crown prince of Egypt. He's the next famous
I'm
bodybuilder.
I'm a simple person. I'm a normal person. I'm just just lucky and blessed person. That's it.
No. He's actually royalty, right? Like for real. But he just like plays it down a little bit. He's in Egypt after Big Ramy. He's the next most famous bodybuilder from Egypt.
Nice.
And he's only 32.
I wish I'm 32. I'm 36 old.
Oh, you're 36. Okay.
Yeah, I'm old now.
I always thought he was younger because his wife Tracy, she's 42. And I thought
you. No. I'm not a child molester.
She's a bit of a pedo. She's a bit of a pedophile. You'll see Tracy hanging around all the bodybuilding shows with all these cookies.
I'm driving. Don't mind me. She's behind the seat all the time.
Yeah. So if you've seen a lot of the shows last year, in California, and I guess other shows as well, like nationals and whatever.
All the show.
They own the cookie company, OCD Cookies.
Yeah.
So they do those really cool, big chunky cookies.
Just to say the name now, because when you say the name, it's just like get hungry. So I want my mango cookies.
Bro. Okay, listen, when you come to UK Arnold, you got to bring some mango cookies with you.
I will. This is my favorite.
Yeah, no, they're definitely my favorite. You've not tried them, Jordan?
Which ones?
They're called OCD, Obsessive Cookie Disorder cookies.
Oh, I might have. Not sure.
Well, if you do end up coming to England, then you'll definitely get to try them. Because I told you I'll share my carbs with you.
That's right, you did. Hey!
The infamous Chris Minns.
Oh, what's up, my
man? What's up, brother? Thank you, Bob.
Hey, brother.
Hey, thank you, Bob. There we go. Too much fancy.
Chris has just got back from back from Europe.
Style
right?
craze now.
Did the tour. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's been skiing, and he came to actually Mo. When you come over next, and Jordan, we're gonna plan a little thing where the whole team gets to go over to Panata, and you get to meet the whole crew and hang out and get fed, right, Chris?
I'm
Big
down.
time.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, it's a really good vibe. Chris came out on a whim, really. It was like a last minute invite, and
Yeah. I booked a flight there and didn't book anything after that.
no. I'm really glad you came because
Me too.
the weirdest things happen when you least expect it. Chris and I probably go back.
Chris, I want to say like you have a really great show and you promote very good and your show is getting better and better. And the first time I this year, first time I've been to your show is really nice and something really you should be proud. So good.
Thank you,
Congrats,
brother. I appreciate that.
Do you
You know,
do,
I
do you do bodybuilding at your show?
Yeah.
You've got the
Charles
bodybuilding
Griffin.
division in the Legion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we've got pro open bodybuilding. We've had it since 2021.
So is this an official invite for Mo to compete this year?
I mean, of course, yes. Come on back, my friend. Let's do it.
And Jordan's a bikini pro. I don't know if she's picked her show yet for this year, but Legion is definitely one I think you should do.
Yeah.
Where's this?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Nevada, Reno.
In Reno?
Oh, Legion.
Northern Nevada.
When
We
is
also
it,
have the-
Chris?
We also have the Tahoe show too. We bikini
Yeah,
there.
I've always wanted to do the Tahoe show. The stage always looks super nice.
Thank you. You know, we try to make a stage that's worthy of what you bring to it. You know, it needs to complement the athletes on stage.
Right. It's
When
one
I
of the
saw it, I was like, wow, I got to compete there. You know?
Like it. That's the goal. That means I did my job.
Yeah.
one of the few shows that puts a effort into the production. I think out in the US.
Yeah.
At least as far as I've seen, anyway, it's always got like a massive turnout, big crowd, big pay-per-view, lots of top-end athletes there, Olympians there. Great seminars that you do. I think you just done one recently, haven't you? That was quite a good turnout.
Yeah. We had an all-star cast too, man. Just all the big names. Chiron, Jeremy Bundia, Ashley Kaltwasser. I mean, the list goes on and on.
How much time did it take you to plan that?
That's like putting on a show. You know, the venue I rented was one of the venues I put on a show. I put on the NPC Motherlode at that same venue. So we did a chill backdrop, LED panels, lighting, because we do a mock show there. So all these new athletes got to actually experience what it's like to go on stage, pose, and we gave them real-time feedback from our judges. And I had top judges out there as well. I had Billy come out from Pittsburgh. I had Steve DeVore come out from Utah. And plus, so we had these top judges giving feedback while these Olympians were also giving feedback to these athletes who'd never stepped foot on stage. So next time they compete for real, they're going to feel so much more confident and prepared.
Mo, you should definitely go out there and like get involved in the whole seminar thing and like start giving back to the kids that follow you and
I should do, I should do a lot,
It's not far.
We all should do
Yeah. No, but like, when you've got promoters like Chris who are like open to you coming out there and getting involved and showcasing you get to build your audience, you get to get involved with a pro league and the NPC. Those are the types of things you probably should be doing just to elevate your brand.
Just too much, too much in the social media right now because we have to do work on social media too. It's not just like you're doing the work in the gym or at home. No, you have to do some work on social media too now.
Yeah,
we don't have magazines anymore, so everybody's their own media platform. So you've got to be a media expert as well. And I think, it was really cool. So all these pros who came out to do the seminar, they come out for free. I cover the travel and what have you, but they come out for free. And I think it's to do, obviously to give back to the sport that's given them so much, but it also creates great content. I know at least 2 of them brought their own videographers. So they're creating content throughout the entire event. And then we create content from it too that we can reshare. So athletes will continue to be able to utilize this resource down the road.
Yeah, and also they can connect with the people, and people like they benefit the people too, you know, and benefit the new generation. Yeah,
you're big time, and like I think people forget this. Sometimes people are like penny wise, pound foolish. You know that term where, no, if I'm going to come out, you got to give me $1,000 or $2,000. But that's like it's very small minded to think like that.
it's not about it's not about this now anymore, you know.
Yeah,
To be there, to share, to support, this is more important than that.
Yeah, and not so you're supporting, but you never know what opportunity is going to come along. You know,
Right.
100%.
Yes.
I was saying this. I went on a bit of a rant this morning on my Instagram.
Yeah, what was that about?
I was driving into work, and it was all about what is the value of an athlete. Like how does an athlete, irrespective of how famous they might be on social media or how many accolades they've won in the sport of bodybuilding, where do they pull out these big valuations for a 2-day appearance? Because most of the guys that I know, like in the top 10 or top 20 of the Olympia, they ain't making 35 grand in 2 days. They ain't making 20 grand in 2 days. They ain't making 5 grand in 2 days. You know, if you're given the opportunity to fly from whatever state you're in America, if Mo's out in, he's Egyptian, but if he's been given a platform to represent his country to a community in Reno or wherever it might be, and you know he's been looked after, he's been fed, he's been accommodated, he's been flown there, standard class. You know, let's be honest. There's very few people out there that you actually have to fly out first class unless it's a top end legend of the sport like a Ronnie Coleman or a Phil Heath or whatever. But regular athletes who travel on their own dime, you'll see them on their Instagram stories when we're going on vacation. They ain't traveling first class. They're business class. They're going fucking economy, right?
Yep.
But they've got the nerve to ask you to like fork out an extra $6,000 just to fly their asses out there to feel special, so that they can showcase it on the social media. But that's the small mind.
Yeah.
A longer term, you know, a long term thinking mind is like, hey, yeah, I'll come out. I'll go out there. I'll network with the people. I'll build my audience. I'll grow my following. Maybe I get offered a new sponsorship. Maybe I get offered some kind of role at this production where I can go and MC or whatever it might be. And I just find it ridiculous about these valuations. So tiering, I think we should have a tiered system. I think all show promoters should get together, and the Pro League president and vice president should get together along with anyone else in the industry and have a tiered system where, you know, someone that's won 4 Olympias is worth this much for 2 days.
Yeah.
Someone that's won 1 Olympia is worth this much for 2 days or whatever, rather than them just giving them these inflated values. It's just stupid. It really is stupid.
Yeah. It's funny how many I've never flown first class, but I've definitely paid for a lot of first class tickets.
Right. But this is what I like. I try and encourage these guys to do. So more. Mo's not competed since what, Egypt?
Last time I competed in 2020 Olympia 2022. 2022 Olympia.
Right. And this is your first show since then?
My first show at 2016, April 2016.
This is your first show since then.
Oh yeah, that's my first show. Then
so why have you had such a long break? What's the reason?
You know, because before Olympia 2022, before I do Alicante in Spain in 2022, I get sick and have a health issue, and I continue, and I do Olympia when I'm not look like good, like this is not my best look, because you know I'm 2021, I'm a top 10 in Olympia, and I'm fighting with William Bonek on the 6th place. And I get health issue. I take break for like 11 months. I take off of everything. I stop training for like 6 months. I become like natural person. And you remember we sit together at Olympia? You remember?
Yeah, yeah. We
When
had a really deep conversation.
and yeah, and I told you at that time I don't find my energy yet. I don't find the purpose to
Yeah, you
work.
lost the fire.
Like I lost all my muscle, I lost my goal, and I feel like I don't find purpose inside me, or I don't find the energy to start. And I started like blaming, like, oh, I blame nobody around me. No, I started like put my fail or put my problem on others, and this is something is bothering me, you know, and
But
take a while. Like it
I
took
think
me
last year for you as well, more was because Tracy, obviously your wife, right? Tracy, she's a teacher as well, and then she's also managing this cookie company, OCD
Yeah.
Cookies, Chris, right? You know, so
Mhm.
when you're traveling every weekend and you're representing your brand at every competition, where four of your 7 days is gone because you're making the cookies, you're packaging them, you're traveling, you're then working the
Yeah.
booth for 2 days. It's very difficult for you to be a full-time bodybuilder
No. Trust
and
me.
do all
For
that at the
me,
same time, I think.
no, it's not about this. I can work. I can do anything. I can if just I find my energy, but I take time to find this, and I started to fix it myself first. After I come from Olympia and I plan, oh, I want to do Arnold. Okay, but how I do Arnold? People doesn't know how I look, and people think I wear clothes, but nobody know how I look, and
Right.
I have no muscle at that time because I take break, I take like everything, and
Did it?
yes,
Did it?
and
You know, there was that one night in Orlando, and we sat up.
yeah.
I was having my pizza, and we were talking. Did it not piss you off, but did it make you? Because I wasn't the most positive person, was I? In truth, in that
No,
conversation,
I know you. Yeah, I know, but I don't think you're wrong. I don't like. For me, I told you something. I don't care what people think
no,
about me.
but it wasn't
I never.
because I know that you were a top 10 bodybuilder at the Olympia once, right? But the effort you were putting in thereafter, and also the injury, the sickness you had. I wasn't getting the vibe from you, the same vibe you were giving in when you came top 10. So you know
Yeah,
you
that's why
talk
I
about
told you
energy.
I don't have. That's why I told you. You remember? I said I don't find my energy,
Yeah,
and like sometimes you wanted to see the purpose you work for,
right.
but like when you're missing something, when you're missing yourself, is like I call it. For me now, I said I was missing myself.
Hmm.
And I fixed this when I started to correct myself first with God, because I'm a religion person, and and I started feel like, oh, I missed something. I have to correct myself, and I have to believe first in myself again to make the people around me believe in me.
So what was the trigger? What was the point where you thought, I'm back. I can do this.
It's just like with Tracy sat with me and said, win 16 week out from Arnold class. And she said, you want to work different, you have to put yourself in schedule. I was when I'm like I get top 10 Olympia, but I'm not work hard. Like I'm work. It's like,
Hmm.
but I'm not working like 24-hour in day. I'm not put myself in a schedule. This time Trish said, you want to do something different? You won't go on stage? You have to do something different, or don't go on stage. I said, this is what I need. We put schedule from 5 morning to 10 p.m.
Whoa. Hold on.
That's
Back up. What was your schedule before?
no schedule.
Nothing.
Nothing. I just bodybuilding. I just train. I eat, wake up anytime I want.
So what? You never got up on time. You never slept on time. You never ate on time. You never trained on time.
No, I eat on time, but like and I train on time because I have a coach. But like, I do what I can. I do.
You haven't just got any coach, Mo. You've got Charles Glass.
I know this. I have Charles Glass and the Chris.
Not like you're working with an
Charles
NPC
Glass.
coach. You're working with one of the best in the business. So
I'm,
you can't Your coach isn't at fault. Why was your schedule then? Why was your routine?
It's just me. Is my routine in the home. My routine after the gym. I training at the gym hard. But I mean, the minute you wake up, what time you wake up, you start your posing, your vacuum, your meal prep, and you go to the gym in the morning, you do cardio, you do like some touch up, and you go back to the home, you do your meal, you eat, you get ready for the gym. If you have some work, you do like working, posing, stretching, like too many stuff I never do before.
So when Tracy told me you started to do vacuum every day, I assumed that you became more domesticated at home, that you were hoovering, right? I didn't realize that you were doing. I didn't realize that you were actually practicing a vacuum. I saw your picture on your story, dude. What happened to your waist? How the fuck?
I just like I challenge myself. I said I can, and just said you can do this. Can you do this? I said let's try, and I said let's like. If someone do it, why you don't do? And I start to practice, and we get a coach, and we did. And I really have a good vacuum for a short time, for 16 weeks.
Jordan, is this where kind of you're at the minute in your prep, like your approach this year? Last year, after the Olympia, you were like meh, and now you've kind of like found that fire.
Trust me, before Olympia, before I sit with you, I'm almost like give up about this sport. Like I don't want to be anymore on this sport. Yeah, but I don't. But I don't like my. I don't like my.
How come?
My finish. I can't finish like this. Go ahead, sister. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're fine. I was just gonna say that it was before the Olympia I started feeling like this. It was probably like July, August. I wanted to quit. I wanted to be done, but I was already qualified for the Olympia. So I figured I was never going to pass up that opportunity to go to the Olympia. So
you did the one show and you won it and you qualified. Most people or most girls would be like, fuck, I'm like here, I'm going to I'm going to prep my ass off. I'm going to give it my all. But you lost that passion. Why?
I was just going through a lot at that time.
Yeah. It's difficult to dissociate your personal life from competitive life, right?
Yes. I mean, when a lot of things are affecting you all at once, and then you're already under a ton of stress from not eating or just the prep in general, it makes everything so much harder. And it just, prep makes you crazy a little bit.
Chris, you've been doing shows for years. Have athletes come up to you prior to a competition, 6 weeks out, 10 weeks out, or even after a competition, and shared that kind of emotion with you? And if so, what's your advice been?
Yeah, I mean, in everything we do, whether it's bodybuilding or business or relationships, you set your goal, and it's easy when you have motivation. It's great when you have motivation, but at some point, motivation is going to stop. You're going to get tired. You're going to get exhausted. You're going to feel hopeless. But that's when you have to have discipline. If you're in this sport, if you're in business, everything you do, you have to have discipline. It's all very easy when you have motivation. That's great. But the people who separate themselves are the ones who've made the goal and stay disciplined. You wake up at that alarm at 6:30 a.m. no matter what. You would go for that cardio no matter what. It doesn't matter if you feel good or you're excited or not excited about it. You do it because you set the goal and you have discipline.
But what if you have actually got not so much problems with your discipline in terms of going to the gym, your meal prep, your pausing prep. Let's assume all that's on point. If you've got external factors, family pressure, partner, how do you separate that?
Again, I think that's part of the discipline. It is in our sport putting yourself first, and we always know the story, and that's easier said than done, of course. You could have kids and you can't do that. You could have, external factors. I always think of the story of Arnold. His father died and he still competed. And when you've made that decision, you follow through no matter what is thrown at you. There's no such thing as a perfect prep. And again, when I feel like everything in bodybuilding that I learned as a competitor and have learned through other competitors, everything prepares you for everything in life. Whether it's your business or your relationship, it's about setting a goal, creating a plan, and executing that goal. And there's no such thing as a perfect prep. There's no such thing as a perfect business plan where you're not going to get thrown who knows what. You need to plan on these variables. You need to be that far ahead, that good at your job to say, what happens if I lose my job? What happens if my kid gets sick? So these are all things that need to become part of that plan. You cannot plan on a perfect plan.
So more of that said, this prep, but I've never seen you work harder online. I've been talking to Tracy back and forth about how focused you are, and it's like normally I'd say you're in fourth gear when you but this is like you're in seventh gear. You're like in stealth mode right now, and you're definitely the best I've seen you look ever, without a doubt. What do you think? Where do you see yourself coming in at the Arnold? Bearing in mind you've got the likes of A, you've not competed for almost a couple of years. B, you've got people on stage like Hadi, like Samson, and these other guys who all place top 5 at the O practically. Where do you feel you're going to fit in physically?
First of all, I did my show to challenge myself, and this was posted before. I promised myself to bring something I never see, not people never see. I want I won't be excited for what I look, and I'm bringing something for myself. And to compete with Hadi, Samson, with all these athletes, I respect all of them. I compete with them before, and I beat some of them before, and I give them all respect. But I don't see anybody. I see myself only. I'm worried about myself. I scare of myself. I don't scare of anyone, and I'm never scared of anyone. I just see myself, and I compete. I challenge myself. I don't challenge anyone on stage. They all work hard. I give them full respect. On stage, I love myself more.
It's quite I don't know how common this is, Chris, but people talk about on their Instagram profiles or whatever else, mental health being this, that, and the other. But mental health is so much more than just competing. There's so many variables outside of bodybuilding that can affect someone's mindset. When we do these seminars, we tend to focus on what you need to do to win on stage. No one really talks about what to do to win off stage in terms of having all your ducks in a row. Is that something that should become commonplace at seminars now?
I think you're right, and make a great point. This sport it's a head fuck. If nothing else, you can look great. And Jordan, you
Can I
felt
just
like you
point
look
out,
like,
Chris? Can I just point out that Jordan especially shaved her armpits today?
I appreciate that. Thank you for that.
It's all about beauty. She's the most beautiful woman I know.
Again, I know Jordan has felt like shit and then looked back at her pictures and went like, damn, no, I actually looked really good.
That's exactly how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. And we all everybody's competed. You have, I have, Mo has, we get that prep brain and you just don't think you look good. And you have to prepare for that. It kind of goes back again to what I said. You set your goal and you have to put all the bullshit out to the side and just stay dead focused, stay dead disciplined on achieving that goal. But like I said, plan for that head fuck. You got to know that's coming. And that's when it's great to have a coach or a trusted eye to say, hey, no, girl, you're looking awesome. This is the best you've ever looked. Get out of your own mind. Don't look at the other girls on Instagram and see how good they look. They filtered that. They stretched it or skinnied it or whatever.
This is really good point. I don't watch on Instagram at all. I don't know how the other athletes look like. And I said, I don't like the picture now. My picture now, maybe you see my picture good, maybe you see not. The main point, I won't see you on stage when you stand next to me. That's is
Yeah.
what I care about. That's it.
And that's the right approach. I mean, how many times you saw them on Instagram, you're like, you think they look
Wow.
crazy, and then you see them on
Yeah.
stage, and you're like, nah, you're like 12th place, you know?
Mm,
It'd be like that. It does.
yeah. How much of that is self-pressure? How much of that is the athlete? Is the athlete responsible for mentally how they feel when we get into that scenario? So when you're competing at the top level, and you know physically you look the part, you're conditioned, you're balanced, you've got the right kind of structure and all the rest of it. But what you're lacking is the entire, like, that wow factor. And do you not think some people compete knowing that they haven't got the wow factor, but it's really hard to
God,
say.
what is the question?
So there's a handful of athletes on stage every year, isn't there? Top 10 Olympia is usually a foregone conclusion. And they've all usually got that wow factor, the whole package, in that they've got the character, they've got the personality, they've got the social media content pumping out all the time. You know, they swim in the right circles, they've got the right people around them. It's a very
I think everybody,
people.
I think I know where you're getting at. I think everybody has to have their why. And there's the why of, I want to become the best in the world, but there's a lot of other whys. You know, when I put on 20 shows, I put on 5 shows in 2020 during the pandemic. And the reason I did that, because the why for so many people isn't just necessarily to win. It's everybody has their reasons for competing. It could be a substance abuse problem. It could be trauma in their past. It could be a step towards something bigger. It could be just to stay relevant. So there's a whole lot of reasons to be competing. You can absolutely go to a show knowing you're not going to get top 10, but it's still a huge success for you because you achieved your why, and that's individual to everyone.
Yeah, no, I guess so.
You know, Mo might just want to sell more cookies.
Oh yeah, no, but it really is a really good point, Chris, because when you find the why, that's the minute you start to fight from your heart.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
What is your assume? So you're going to do the Arnold Ohio. You're going to come to UK and do the Arnold UK. Whatever the outcome is of those shows, have you got any others planned for later on in the year?
I will do Ohio, and after Ohio, I do UK, and then the Fuad show.
Oh, you're going to do Detroit?
Detroit, yeah.
Okay. Big pay package there.
That's a 3 show. I
Like
will
40 grand top prize, right, Mo?
It's 25,000 for first
25.
place.
Okay, that's still big money. Is that one of the shows that's being allocated more money from this new sponsorship deal, Chris?
I believe every Ifbb Pro Open bodybuilding show is getting an allocation from that. That's my understanding. I think there's 21 shows, and everybody is getting $10,000 added to the cash purse. Thanks.
Is that including Legion as well, then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I have no doubt that, you know, we're very, you know, what Legion's still 7-8 months out. I have a feeling that a whole lot more is going to come into that cash purse as we get closer. And sponsors, you know, sponsors like to see promoters who are supporting the athletes like we are, and we've seen them come in pretty big in the past. And you know, one of the things we do when a sponsor wants to contribute to a cash purse is I don't take a percentage out of it. I want that to go straight through to the athlete.
Right.
You have a special guest here.
Oh, Mr. Glass.
Oh,
we're not worthy.
How are you?
What's up?
Good.
How you doing, boss?
Yeah. No, I didn't hear it.
He
I
doesn't
said, how
hear
you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about you?
I'm great. I can't wait to see you. Are you coming to the UK?
We're trying to make it.
Nice.
Well, you should come.
Yeah.
I'll fly you out first class if he ain't paying.
Hey.
Oh, he's looking good. How old's Charles now, Mo?
Huh?
How old is Charles now?
I know. I don't know.
Oh, no.
The secret.
Did he like his Nebbia shirt that we sent him out?
He just got the he will get it now.
Oh, you haven't given it him yet?
No, we don't see him yesterday.
Okay. Hopefully it fits him. I want him to, if he can he try it on?
I don't know. He will try today or tomorrow.
Oh, well, whenever you do, just get him to take a picture. We'll get him signed as an athlete or a coach.
Of course, we'll make him to be sure.
What are you training today, big boy?
Huh? Oh, I train arm today.
It's a girls' workout.
It's an easy day. It's a fun day.
Yeah. Okay. But listen, have a good session. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to meet you.
Good to see you, Mo. Say hi to your girl for me.
Thank you. Bye,
Where's
Chris.
it?
Bye.
Take care and good luck in Ohio. I'll speak to you before then.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Good man. Chris, Jordan,
Yes, sir.
just the three of us. I'm the odd one out because I'm the only brown one here, but let's carry on. What was I going to say? So, yeah, moving on from Ohio and Arnold's in US, I think one of the things I was talking to Chris about, Jordan, yesterday, I think we kind of mentioned, is that there's two big competitions or companies of competition, isn't there? There's Muscle Contest International or Muscle Contest, whatever it is. And then there's your brand's NPC Motherlode. And then you've got, I guess,
Centrepodium is the main brand, yeah. And then,
the Pittsburgh shows. Where you've not done Tahoe yet, Jordan, but if you do it this year, you're going to do it this year?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't have any shows picked out right now. I haven't even started prep yet.
You've not planned anything yet?
No, not yet.
Is that because of the surgery you had, or is that just because you're not feeling it yet?
Oh no, I'm definitely feeling it. I'm ready. My coach just thinks I need a few more weeks before I start prep.
Right. How many weeks of non-training did you have prior to your surgery?
4.
And then after surgery, you've been off for 2 months?
So 4 weeks after the surgery, I was able to do lower body as hard as I want. And then I had to, basically I was cleared at 4 weeks for everything except like this motion here. So like shoulder press and so those types of motions. So yeah, it wasn't that long. It was actually a short break. I actually thought it was going to be 2 months, but it wasn't. So I was happy about that. Because
Jordan, what kind of surgery did you have?
breast augmentation.
Oh, very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Very
To be fair, I'm going to be dead honest. I don't even think she needed it, but she did it for her own reasons.
That's what
I think she looked great before.
Yeah.
She just looks more. I guess now you've got more of an hourglass thing going on that you need in bikini, right? Or whatever the criteria is this year.
The judges stress quite a bit that you get boobs for yourself. It makes zero impact on the judging.
That's right.
There's plenty that you can do to fill your top if need be to balance your physique. And I know Sandy says this every time. She's like, she's got fake boobs and she loves them, but don't ever get them for the stage. You do not need them. And I think that's an important message to send to all women that you really don't need that. Yeah, do it for yourself. Absolutely do it for yourself.
Play second or third at an Olympia, and she didn't have a chest at the time.
Yeah. Again, it goes. Brianna Martinez has a great YouTube video about how to stuff and how to do it. The key is to balance the physique. And one thing the judges always say: too big can hurt you. Then you look out of balance. So when you have some control over it, and of course, if you get them, don't get, like those girls we saw at the Olympia with these.
The one in bodybuilding, like the robot.
No, there's those 2 girls walking around who I don't know if you saw, but it was a freak show. It was a freak show. But you want to get something that's going to balance your physique. But again, the message to every woman out there is get them for yourself, not for the stage.
Yeah, I have a ton of girls message me on Instagram and they ask me if I, did it for bodybuilding or you know, whatever. But there's a lot of girls that think that they need to have a breast augmentation to be able to be competitive in bikini. And I'm just like, where did you hear that? Because the judges always say that they don't care about boobs. So I have to go on there and let them know, like, that's not a real thing, you know?
Yeah. You know, and they will, you know, women's health is a big deal to me, especially in our sport. So I'm pretty passionate about it. You know, another thing is we see now these fillers and all this everywhere. And remember that, you know, especially in the glutes and what have you, that's going to get you marked down. If you can grow it, don't buy it. That's my saying. If you can grow it, don't buy it, because if you buy it, you're going to get marked down.
It's a lot of that's influenced on TikTok more now, right?
Oh God, it's it's out of control.
Wait, what? What's happening?
Like a lot of his stuff, like TikTok, and we remember last week we were talking about boys, like young boys in England, that all of a sudden all taking trenbolone. I mean, you've got girls that are just going out and having, and they're only 17, 18 years old, and they're going to have Botox. I'm like, what are you doing? 18 having Botox done? It's just mental. Social media just plants that seed of insecurity in everyone, right? Because as a young girl or as a young guy, you want to look like that person, but you don't want to take the time or put in the work to get to that level. You just want it now. So then you find the quickest shortcut possible and you go down that route. And that's just a downward spiral of negativity for yourself. I don't know. Like it's not self-love. That's just destroying yourself, really.
And it's all curated anyway. You see half these people in real life and they don't look like that. It's like we just said, all the filters and edits that they do, you know, most of them don't really look like that in real life. Just look in the mirror and make sure you're happy, you know.
When's your next show, Chris?
Next show is the NPC Motherlode. It's the first week of May here in Rio. That's the one with all of the theatrics where we dress up like a steampunk vintage circus and
Nice.
swing from the rafters, basically.
That's not going to be an expo like the Legion.
Like the Legion. No, this is just an NPC show. It's just a whole different level of what you think of as NPC shows. You know, each one of my shows has a very specific brand. I liken it to like casinos in Vegas. Like each Vegas casino has a very distinct brand and theme, and that's what we do. And this one is this steampunk circus thing. It gets pretty wild. We've had Oksana has guest posed at it. Breon Ansley guest posed a couple times, and it's all not just guest posing, but it's programmed into incredible performances that involve every athlete, and it's just wild to look at. If you get a chance, just Google NPC Motherlode and check out the videos and photos from this event. You'll see it's unlike anything you've ever seen. It is, if you're in the audience, it's entertaining. And that was always my goal. Like I found myself sometimes falling asleep at bodybuilding shows, and I'm like, I love this sport. How's anybody going to fall in love with it if it's boring? So we make it anything but boring.
That sounds really
Are you going to have? Is it? What was that? The wrestling thing that you were talking about in Italy? Are they going to be there?
Oh, not so. That one looks like it's gonna be at the Legion. So the Legion has 12 sports. So it's bodybuilding is of course our headliners. We've got 8 pro divisions, the NPC show, but it's a total of 12 sports. And we're looking at adding women's wrestling. Cass Gillis just signed up with them. I was on a call with the wrestling crew and Cass a couple of weeks ago, and I think she's debuting in Texas. And
so she's not going to compete anymore, like in wellness.
No, so she was at my seminar a couple of weeks ago, and I asked her, and she sounds like she's going to do both. And we'll see how she pulls it off. We'll see how extreme the wrestling is. You know, I know that it's definitely. I don't want to say scripted, but they have characters. Is this
right, like WWE or WWF?
Yeah. Everybody has a character to keep it entertaining.
Hey, I'm sorry to have to do this, but I have to go because I have an appointment
she's got a beauty appointment. That's okay. That's
my
okay.
lashes.
Man.
What are you going to do to your lashes?
I need to get them filled.
You need to get them what?
I need to get them filled.
How do you fill hair? Explain.
They go.
I use wax.
Yeah. See, maintenance time.
No, Chris, you do your lashes too?
No, I just do my mustache.
It's got to be something. You know, you got to take care of yourself.
You're gonna fill it with wax.
See you
No,
later.
I want
That's
to
me.
be put. Can you put it on your story so I can follow what's going on? Because I have no clue what you're talking about right now.
No. Bye.
I'll see you later, mate. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
It's like,
Oh, it's hilarious. We'll give it another 10, 15 minutes or so, and then we'll crack on. Panada, have you spoken to anyone from out there since you've been back?
I just got home, yesterday at 3 a.m. And I had, I snowblowed.
You're
And
snowblowing.
I had to get into my house. I've been gone for 2 weeks, and we probably got 4 feet of snow. I was gone.
Oh shit!
But today's the first day back in the office, and we'll be in touch. Obviously, we can't talk about specifics, but the world saw that I was in Italy at Panada for some reason.
Right.
And specifically, what I can tell you is Panada is going to be a great partner to Centrepodium. And Panada is a great partner to the world of bodybuilding and the athletes, and they've been this way for decades. Rudy is a legend, and anybody who's been in the room. Get a call coming in. And his passion for our sport, and the way he's used his success to support our sport and our athletes is incredible. And
Pretty
we're
amazing,
gonna
right? Pretty selfless. He's definitely one of the few companies I feel where the CEO of that company is just deeply invested in the progression of the sport, its growth, but also in the welfare of the athletes and how they're treated.
Yeah. Yep.
From amateurs to pros. I think it's pretty damn amazing what he can bring to the table. And I think with I don't know, with the vision that he's got and the team that he's putting together, I think he's going to do something beautiful in our industry. Given like five years from now, maybe 10 years from now, or sooner, who knows?
I think sooner. Now, to clarify, did he buy Ifbb, or is he a top sponsor?
Ooh, so that's a really good question.
Yeah,
I don't know if
I know
he's presenting sponsor at the bodybuilding show that they do there. I'm thinking maybe he's the main promoter of that bodybuilding show out there, or he's affiliated with the promoter of that show in some way, shape.
I think that must be, because remember we talked about they're giving away $100,000 to the amateurs, if I'm understanding that correctly.
So I think as like you said, sponsors can, like if you were sponsored by Monster and Monster said, "Hey, we want to present your NPC categories with an equal fund of XYZ," then great. If you're a tight ass promoter, you're gonna cash in on that and put it in your back pocket. But if you're a smart promoter and you want to pull in more registrations and get more eyes on your show, more pay-per-views, just year-on-year growth, I think you're going to want to share that with the athletes. I think it's a great gesture.
Oh, absolutely. That's how we're going to grow this sport. Like we talked about earlier, it's difficult to be an athlete. It is grueling. It is 24/7. It messes with your head. And there needs to be some kind of carrot at the end of all this, and some decent money, which I'd like to see that Rudy Panada is doing, and that Tyler is doing, and I know that we're doing it in the Centrepodium world. That's what we need to get this sport to grow. We need to really show that there's a future in this sport.
How do you think Centrepodium will evolve over the next, let's say, 5 years with your long-term plans? So,
well, and I'm not. I'm going to try to say it vague, but we have a very, very mega big project that we're working on, and I can't get into the specifics on it yet. But we're going to create new platforms for athletes. We will be creating a physical space or multiple physical spaces. Again, this is a partnership it's one of the things we talked about with Panada.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is we're going to create kind of a heartbeat, a culture that I hope is going to really motivate people in the future and and really introduce our sport to a mainstream that we're kind of missing right now. We stay in this niche, we stay in this small little slice, but there's 380 million
Do you think
Americans,
it's
maybe
going to stay that way,
50,000.
Chris? Because it's become way more. I think it's become mainstream, certainly in my young population. Maybe not so much in people that are 30 plus, but anyone under the age of 30 that's heavily influenced by social media and watches all these, influencers and bodybuilding people on their TikToks, on their Instagrams, on their YouTubes. People are openly talking about now, like what they take, when they take it, yada
Right.
yada yada. Make sure that you're getting your bloods checked and your markers checked. And actually, now I'm seeing more kids than ever. In fact, there was one kid I saw today. I was down at the gym training back, and I swear down, I only saw this kid about 2 months ago, and he was stick thin,
Mm.
stick thin, and I don't know what he's done because it's definitely not food, but he's filled out in 2 months. And this kid, about 18, 19, he's modeling himself on the Bumstead looks. He's come in, he's got this mustache that really shouldn't be there because it looks really fucking weird. But he's got that vibe going, like he's walking around the gym like I am the next Chris Bumstead kind of thing. And that's cool. But then you see kids looking at him thinking, shit, how did he get that way? And then I actually saw him in the supplement store a couple of weeks ago when I go in to buy my pre-workout, whatever. And he was in there, and believe it or not, the guy in the supplement store under the counter is selling him what he needs.
Yeah,
It's way more
pretty common.
accessible than it used to be.
I've only seen that 100 times before. Yeah, you've got the protein on the shelves and the trend underneath the counter.
Right. So I think kids are just it's more accessible, and it's about as normal now for boys, men, young teenage lads, or even women to use these substances in the same way that they might go for Botox or a boob job or whatever. It's just like a natural, not a natural. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a
Right.
service that's available to these kids now, and they think it's normal.
Yeah. So I like two thoughts to that. We're seeing it a lot on social media, or fitness and physique development on social media. I don't think that that's actually translating to them going on stage as much. I think they're focused on developing their bodies. They want to look good on Instagram or TikTok. What we're seeing since COVID is a downward trend in number of athletes competing.
Oh,
and we're seeing this in not just in centrepodium, but I've seen it in extreme examples in other. Fortunately, not as extreme with us, but I've seen shows in the getting a couple of dozen athletes that once got 250. So I think almost where it once was, where the stage was your chance to showcase your hard work, whether it was supplemented or not. They don't need that quite so much, and they can really curate what that final product looks like when it's out there on social media. And from that, and then the next step is that you're able to leverage that in a potential sponsorship, or at minimum, affiliate kickbacks, where getting on stage is going to cost you several $100s and maybe not get you that same kind of kickback. Though I feel it's a fantastic chance to actually increase your visibility and keep you more relevant and give you credibility, because that's the one thing. We all know you can curate that content, but if you want to be truly credible, you need that gold medal to show that you are what you say you are. And I've yet to see that with some of these top guys. They come in talking a big game, and then they get their ass handed to them when it comes to stage.
Right. No, that's a really good, really valid point. That's a really valid point. And that brings us to we were talking about coaches, weren't we, in Italy? And coaches, not a lot of coaches out there that are prepping young athletes with no real accreditation from any sort of main governing body. Okay, you've got your NASM and you've got your ESA certifications and whatever else, but they're not really relevant to the sport of bodybuilding. And there's a couple of twists on introducing bodybuilding into some of these certifications, but nothing that's been written or or put together by top level coaches. And you know,
Right.
when we say top level, you're talking about your Hanny Rambrods, your Charles Glasses, your Chris Acetos, that kind of status. With women, I don't know who it'd be in Bikini that's the best coach at the minute. It could be anyone. It could be
Jamie DiBernard, or yeah.
yeah, you know, but it'd be really cool to bunch of these people together and to come up with some kind of standardized protocol of coaching, of nutrition, of whatever else might be entailed, to have like a level 1, level 2, level 3 pro level coach certification, which is accredited by the Pro League, you know, in the same way that you're going to have a NPC worldwide card to compete at NPC level, or pro card to compete in a pro show. I think we need to hold some of these coaches that are just fly by night, one hit wonders that use one athlete with you know, one cookie cutter formulas worked on, and then they're using that same shit on everyone else and ruining people's health.
You know, at my last seminar, I discussed that. I said, you know, there's often these coaches, they do 2 NPC shows and then fancy themselves a coach. And actually, one girl posted that and said, I've decided I'm not going to contest prep anymore based on what Chris said. I am not. Yeah, she said, I'm not ready to do this. And I have mad respect for her to be able to say, you know what, I'm not qualified for this at this point.
You remember who she was?
She's a local girl here in Reno. So it's not a big coach, but she had a couple athletes here. And I've seen
many people come out and admit that.
Yeah, and it's nice to see, and I constantly see the athletes working very, very, very hard, but doing all of the wrong things because their coach is garbage, you know. And honestly, like a coach who's never competed before, I think, it's a rare coach that can handle and understand the process if they've never stood on stage themselves. And I see these people, again, fancy themselves as coaches when they've never stood on stage themselves. And we look at the health of the athletes, and, you know, we see athletes dropping dead early. You know, these are all things that we in the industry need to all be accountable for.
Right.
And we need to take efforts, as you said, to create some sort of certification program. I, with Centrepodium, have a resources section of our website, as well as Centrepodium TV, which is a Netflix-style app for bodybuilding, where we work with some of the top coaches and athletes in the world, and we're starting to put that information together in one location, so you can go and get an idea. At least if it's your first show, this is what I'm going to expect. I do have food in there. How to calculate calories. I do touch on cycles. So we're starting in that direction, and I can tell you, you know, we've talked already about this, but I plan to do a lot more to get to solidify this.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's something definitely that it's funny because everything we said this before we got to Italy, but everything that you want to do is totally what I want to do out here. And you know, great minds think alike. And if there's maybe a couple of more people just in different parts of the world that can aggregate together and make this happen in their, like Brazil, China, you know, wherever it might be, become an international accredited affiliated body with a pro league and an NPC, that'd be such a great thing.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do want to touch on like the young kids doing gear early, and I feel like, especially in the United States, everybody's looking for a shortcut. And
yeah, I mean, you look at the young kid that turned classic, Anton, what's his name? National. You know, he's only what, 19?
Something like that.
Phenomenal physique, but should he really be doing it the fast way like he's doing?
I mean, my take your time and do it right. I put on, I think, 70 pounds in my first 3 years of really bodybuilding, natural. My first supplement, or I should say, my first PEDs were prescribed from a doctor when I was over 30. And I was able to put on 70 pounds. So when you're young like that, your testosterone is already in the 700s, 800s, 900s. Like, go all the way to the end of that. Go till you've maximized what you can. Be healthier. Don't accumulate scar tissue. Don't atrophy your testicles. Like, don't hurt yourself in the long term, where you got to potentially be on this stuff for the rest of your life because you started too early. You know, guys, take it too early and your dick's not going to work properly ever. Like, you got to know these things and do do the research, like understand the compounds, understand how they work, and understand what the side effects are. And, one thing to add to that, women, women's health is huge for me. You don't, if it's an oil, don't inject it. That's like my best advice. Don't get on your boyfriend's cycle. Take some Anavar if you want, do a little growth, but don't start doing testosterone. Don't do that stuff because your voice will drop. Your middle bits are gonna change, and they're gonna stay that way.
Do you think it's necessary for girls to do growth at all?
I think to be at the top level, I think a little growth is okay, especially as we get older and our natural production starts to come down.
Right.
What you don't want to do is
like a men's physique dose of, I don't know, 2 IUs in the morning, 2 IUs in the evening at the age of 20.
Only 2 IUs before bed is I don't even think you need to do 4 in a day. I think a woman can just do 2. I've heard even obscene levels of Anavar where a woman should be doing 5 to 10, and I'm hear things like 50, and I'm like, whoa, that's what I was taking as a bodybuilder. And you're a bikini girl. Heard a bikini girl's taking testosterone, and again, it's so not necessary. You need to have discipline before you do any of this stuff, and understand: are you willing to sacrifice your voice? Are you willing to sacrifice the shape of your face? And I'm sorry, your junk is going to look different forever. Like that, once you get that, it does not disappear again. And understand, girls, Google what that looks like if you're not sure. So please do that research.
Actually, very noticeable on quite a few girls nowadays. Mention any names, but about your guys and your dick not working. If you don't trust us, ask Emilio Martinez from Spain. Thank you, Bob. he'll tell you how he went down for him. Jokes, Emilio, jokes. Just jokes. UK Arnold, you're set.
I'm going to start looking at tickets today, buddy.
No, you got to be. It's going to be such a good weekend.
I'm gonna, Rudy again. Rudy Panada. He's, Chris, you going? And I don't know. He's, but we have this VIP thing and this. I'm like, all right. Well, if you're inviting me, how can I say no to that?
Can't say no to the guy. Like, but I think twice. Other than when you came, twice prior to that, he's invited me out, and it's been out of the blue, unexpected, and it's like, I've got some friends coming. It was a week where Steve Weinberger and Dexter and them came over. It'd be really cool if you came. I'm like, fuck shit, if I say no, he's gonna hate me. So I ended up canceling like 2 or 3 days of my clinic just to head out there. But I don't regret it. I had such a good time.
No, it's such a good time. I want to talk about the experience with Rudy a little bit from the.
I was going to say, so when you came, that was the 3rd or 4th time that I'd met him, so I kind of knew what to expect.
Right.
For you, it would have been like meeting your in-laws for the first time. The level of nerves, going there. So we get there, we get to the factory.
Even before the factory, you're driving up a mountain on the east coast of Italy, up these tiny little windy roads, past vineyards. So first you got to understand that the factory is at the top of this, like basically 1-lane road. They're putting out several $100 million worth of equipment a year from the top of a 1-lane road in Italy. All right. So first, now that's the scene. That's
kind of weird, right? Because you would not think in terms of like when you're looking at the ergonomic design of a factory and how accessible is it to the nearest port or to the nearest cargo shipment place, it's in the middle of freaking nowhere. You're right.
No, exactly.
but I couldn't imagine it anywhere else.
And once you're there, it all makes sense.
Yeah, But the factory and the 2 new factories he's gonna. I'm so excited with what he's gonna do in the next year or two with that whole facility. And the new AI integration of the machines, and it's going to be really top end. But walking into that boardroom, what was that like for you?
So you understand now you're in Italy, and there's a lot of Italian being spoken, and there's this door that doesn't have a name on it or anything, and you walk through the door, and it's this giant office, and there's a giant desk with Rudy Panada sitting on it. No computer. He does everything with paper, and he's sitting there like the Godfather. And everybody pulls their chairs in a semicircle around Rudy, and Rudy goes around the room and is basically like, "Why are you here? Why are you here? Who are you?"
Right.
And honestly, I don't know that the answer matters that much. He's taking in your character more than
Right.
anything else.
Yeah.
He's looking at eye contact. He's looking at body language, and he's taking you in at that point. And if you can make it past there, doesn't, like I said, I don't know that it matters that much what you say. It's just, does he trust you? It
Yeah.
definitely, it's yeah, you're Italian, yeah, we're out here, and it's like it's got that little bit of vibe, and
Yeah. I
and
think
then,
what
and then
he's now, 73 years old. So the one thing he's definitely good at doing is reading people.
yeah,
And to see whether or not you're there with like an agenda or an ulterior motive, or
right,
that type. He's super, super efficient at doing that.
yeah,
And I mean, we didn't get to meet him at the time, Eduardo, his son, because he was sick, having come back from Qatar. But if he misses anything, Eduardo sniffs it out.
mm,
He misses anything, Kiara,
mm,
the social media lady that handles all the
the director of marketing, yeah,
she does all the background checks, and she plugs in all your numbers and makes sure that you are who you say you are. And
right,
it's pretty top end. I love it. I think if you're a brand and you want to sign quality people, there's no better way to conduct an interview or a meeting.
no.
And
And that's just the first part of the test. The
right.
second part is you go to his house and you work out with him in his private gym.
Good, right?
And if you can hang, then he really likes you.
Right. How are you hung? I've got to say, I wasn't expecting you to be as strong as you are. You are pretty damn strong.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
the
damn
powerlifting days.
I had a better workout back. I had a better workout with him the first time because I actually could keep up. This last time I felt weak as anything, whether that was just like lack of sleep or whatever. I don't know. But no, you could definitely hang with him. And I think
Yeah.
that's when you gained his respect. Like this guy can lift,
Yeah,
kind of thing,
yeah.
right? That's what I think. After that, you connected pretty much.
Big time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's as easy as that. Sometimes good energies, I think, always recognize each other and synchronize with each other. So it was, after there was that whole facade with a certain 2-1-2 champion, where he felt his balls were being squeezed and he was being treated a certain way. And I'm sorry, but that just doesn't happen. In your own little concocted mind, you've gone back to your world and played out this drama for whatever sympathy votes you thought you needed to get. I just felt it was handled really wrong by a mature Olympia 2-time winner. I think that's just the wrong way to handle that kind of relationship. Instead of just being respectful and saying, "Hey, sorry, it's not for me," but to turn it around and try and paint a bad picture of any brand that's genuinely welcomed you and treated you with utmost respect is pathetic, I thought.
And I think that the opportunities he provides, anybody should feel this. You should have an exclusive relationship with him and his brand. And I don't. And to me, having trained in his showroom and in his house, and seeing the testing of the equipment, and seeing that Marco was there with electrodes on my arms, like making sure everything's firing. The lengths they go to be the Ferrari of their industry is admirable. And I wouldn't want anything else, having seen that firsthand. And we were talking Italian leather, where everything is handmade and crafted and evolved over 50 years from a man who couldn't be more passionate about it.
I thought that was a really cool thing about his, I mean, you call it his factory or his showroom, that catalog of machines he's got there. Prior to you picking any one machine just based on what you might think you want, to have those electrodes attached to you, because there was like 6 bicep machines, and you found out of the 6, 2 or 3, like gave you, for your biomechanics, gave you the best contraction.
Yep, I know which one I'm going to buy.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to use that kind of device to find out which is best suited for you personally is great. But also, it gives you a lot more knowledge about what might work best for your community of people that are in your gym. I've never seen that done. I've just walked into a regular gym store and thought, right, okay, that's a Cybex machine and that's a hoist machine. And yeah, you know, I'm getting a bit of a pump. But when you pick the machines that are bespoke, custom made for you biomechanically, it's a whole different workout. My back was sore for 4 days after we did that back workout.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the ergonomics are right on those. And then when you've got Rudy to walk you through it, what he has envisioned when he built the equipment, it just is the next level.
Yeah, no, we should definitely head back for I think he said whenever we're free, if you come for that Rimini weekend at the end of May,
Mm.
and we're going to stay there like a week extra afterwards,
Oh, gosh.
just to hang out and train.
Yeah.
Not not talk shop, not talk business or anything like that. Just to hang out, train, and eat all that food that you ate when you were there.
Dude, I did not. I mean, the food in Europe, I did not put on a single pound. You saw how
Dude,
I ate.
fast is your time? I don't know where you put it all.
I don't get it. I just think the food is so healthy. I just absorb all the nutrients. I thought I'd come
Yeah.
home and would be 10 pounds more, but I don't even want to eat American food now. You know, you see, like I had breakfast, I had coffee this morning, they have a dairy replacement. Like, why do I want this thing with 50 ingredients and it's designed to have a shelf life of 10 years when I could just have cream?
What's your digestion been since you've been back in the States?
Oh,
I mean,
you know,
it's different already.
I don't eat out really, and I don't eat any processed food regardless. Like I eat, you know, chunks of meat. This is my life.
Nice.
Because I know how well I think the main reason Americans are so obese is the processed food. You know, you walk around, you know, I was just in Italy and France and Serbia and Switzerland. I didn't see a fat person the whole time. You know, you're getting on a flight back to the United States when you see the people on that flight. You know, and you know, we you know, I do blame discipline and habits and things like that. But in America, when this processed food and fast food is made so easily accessible, you got to put some of that responsibility on those companies who are creating this basically pandemic of obesity in this country. And since they're always going to follow the dollar, we need to be responsible and say, you know, I'm not going to get fast food. I'm not going to the frozen food section. I'm going to prep my food. And at the end of the day, it doesn't take you longer. You just have to kind of reevaluate how you plan your day. You know, I see guys at In-N-Out Burger, they're waiting 45 minutes in the line. In 45 minutes, I could prep my food for the week.
Yeah, well, for what, $18 a burger or whatever stupid price.
For me, I know it's sacrilege in California, but I hate this stuff. I think it tastes like crap, but I don't like the taste of chemicals.
I've Shake Shack. I think that's my go-to whenever.
Yeah.
But I mean, it tastes great at the first bite. It tastes great, but after that, I'm done.
Yeah.
What are you doing now, then? The carnivore diet? You just eating red meat?
Oh no, I eat whatever I want. I just don't eat processed food.
Right.
You know, so I eat at least 1 or 2 pies a day, at least a gallon. I mean, a week, at least a gallon of ice cream a week, and I still have a 6-pack. And you know, it's because I'm active, and it's because I don't eat processed food. It's that simple. Like I need to know what every ingredient is. It should
Your
be
genetics is good as well, man. Like you've actually got a good metabolism, good
Yeah.
structure, good density to you. Like you've trained for a long time. If I ate what you ate, I'd just end up looking like a big water buffalo.
right.
I'm still on 0 carbs, dude. I've been back for I don't know how many days now, but I've just literally in my air fryer there. I've got my veg on.
Nice. There you go.
I mean, I've got my 2 chicken breasts in there. That's my last meal post workout that I'm having, and it's boring as fuck. I just can't. You know, we talk about more having discipline and having all that focus. And Rudy said, "How's it going?" the other day. I'm like, "It's not going good, dude." But I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I want to look better by the time I get to the Arnold UK. So that's like 2.5-3 weeks away. I'm hoping to drop to at least 5-10 pounds. Cardio 3 times a week, 4 times a week, like he said. But yeah, it's hard. But this is me trying to do it for a small period of time. You've done it for 15, 20 years.
Okay. Yeah. I think that when for lifestyle, like your lifestyle, right? You're not contest prep.
No.
That people often treat lifestyle like contest prep. They're eating chicken breast. You don't need to have chicken breast. Have a chicken thigh. It's tasty. Have some salt. Salt's great. It's not going to make you fat. it's when you go, if you go too extreme, you're going to set yourself up for failure. You're not trying to get to 2-3% body fat. Get down to 9, get down to 10, and you're going to feel awesome.
I'd be happy at 15, bro. Like,
yeah,
I'm good.
And it's very sustainable. This is a ribeye. It's got a tri-tip, and it's full of fat, and it's okay to eat like that if you're not trying to get to 3%, I think people set themselves, they go too strict and they set themselves up for failure. And the other one big thing that I think everybody needs to do is 20 to 30 minutes of fasted cardio before their first meal. If you do that,
before the first meal.
Oh yeah. If you do that, you can, the rest of the day can go to shit. I have seen, I think this is one of the keys of my diet, my success, or anybody's that I've seen. If you just do that 20, 30 minutes, not intense, just a decent pace of cardio, that's going to change it.
I'm not doing that at the minute. I'll
do that.
I'm doing four 45-minute sessions on my sternal. On training day, I'm not lifting heavy. So on a leg day, I won't do that. On a leg day, I'll do 20 minutes plus workout. On a back day, like today, I did 25, 30 minutes. And the other days in between where I'm doing like arms, chest, whatever, I'll have my aminos post workout, half a litre of water. I'll give myself 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll jump on my sternal. I don't mind doing that.
Well, for cardio to work, you've got to burn through all of your stored glycogen from the food you ate throughout the day to start burning fat. So you're doing this post-workout. You've had 3 or 4 meals all day. You've had carbs in those. You've got tons of glycogen floating around your bloodstream.
Yeah.
And all you're going to do is burn that glycogen. You're not going to switch over to fat. But in the morning when you wake up, you fasted for 8 hours. You burn through the glycogen from sleeping, digesting, and now you're in this fat burning stage. So right away, that first step is burning fat. It's not going to be 30 minutes.
Post-workout cardio is a myth then. It's not.
I mean, again, if you're prepping for a show, yeah, go for it. You're just burning calories at that point and not really cutting into your glycogen, unless, maybe you burn through all your glycogen in your workout. Depends on your diet, depends on the workout. But I can tell you, I would trade, and I would suggest to anybody 45 minutes post-workout. I would do 30 minutes pre-breakfast.
Well, I'm going to do that for the next 2.5 weeks, right? And if I've not got a 6-pack, come here, Arnold, I'm going to kick your ass.
You let me know. I'll give you one other tip. First meal, do no carbs in the first meal only. It can be fats and protein.
Chris. I tend to, my first meal is usually 2 whole eggs and 4 egg whites.
Dude, that's perfect, because then your body's going to continue to use fat as energy. Right. As soon as you put carbs in there, your body switches to glycogen for energy. Yeah. So now you fasted for 8 hours while you slept. You did your 30 minutes of pre-workout cardio, or pre-breakfast cardio, and then you're not having any carbs until meal 2. Now you're at 10, 13 hours of just burning fats. That's going to be
half considering getting one of them glucose sensor things that you wear.
Yeah.
As an experiment to figure out how my body actually, like, what makes it tick.
Right. Data is amazing. The more data you have, the better decisions you can make, rather than just like hoping.
It'd be really cool, actually. What maybe after the Arnold's, but to go the app that you've got, the one that you've got designed for fitness, like lifestyle, or like even prep, just to go through how that works. On one of the, just for the basic beginner. How to get into a reasonable shape before you start a contest prep.
Right.
That would be quite cool, just to go through that. Normally on here we'd have Erin, but he's in Brazil with Dragon Farm this week. Maureen's birthday today, so she's flying to Tanzania for a couple of weeks.
Nice.
Well, who else is it? Angela's in Brazil. No, she's in California working with a supplement company. So usually 6 people on the whole thing. And the reason why we called it Shoot the Shit is because we'll just talk about anything. There's no set agenda. It could be political, it could be economy, it could be anything. Although some of the guys don't really want to get political because they feel it might damage their brand.
Yeah,
it's like you all think it, might say it. But so go on.
Oh, I was going to say, well, between me and you, we can definitely fill the dead space. We can talk all day, for days at a time.
We'll get Emilio on at one point. I really like the sound of this. I mean, maybe pitch it to Rudy when we're in the UK. but I really like the whole the PA, the Panata Alliance thing.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's
Yeah,
really good.
I think we got something there. I think
To
we
have
got
that intertwined with Centrepodium as a brand.
yeah. Yep.
Take that as far as we can take it with all the support that we have got, and provide just a fucking great experience with these guys.
That's it. Just continue to set the standard, you know.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome. That's pretty much it, dude, for today. I think, unless there's anything you want to add.
I just got back after 2 weeks. There's a ton of work to do over here, but you know, we're stoked for this season. You know, I think the big thing for us, our big focus this year is the new athletes coming in. We want them to have a first class experience, and there's a lot of different NPC shows out there, and we all offer very, very different experiences.
Oh, and aren't you giving free tanning or something?
So yeah, we do have a lot of cool things. So at our show in Southern California, the West Coast Classic,
right,
we have free tanning. At the Dexter Jackson Classic in Florida, we have free tanning. And so you compare that to some of the other shows in California, it's going to cost you registration and tanning $350. With us, it's $139.
That's
Plus,
so
you're getting
value for
so
money.
much cheaper. And plus, we're giving you epic venues. So don't think cheap means less quality. No, look at our videos, look at their videos. My goal is for these athletes to fall in love with the sport, and we're giving them the first class experience all the way. And so if you're new,
at $109, you're saving $210 right there.
Yeah.
Like flights, accommodation, whatever, food, you know, that's a big saving there.
Right.
You know,
and so again, I want the athletes to fall in love with the sport, and it's got to be price and it's got to be product, and that's what we're really doing. And I encourage you, just because a show might be close to home, look at everything and see if that's really what you want to work your ass off for, is for some podunk, you know, Holiday Inn stage, or do you want to be in an incredible
cheap
theater?
to fly to what's the nearest airport to where the Motherlode show is going to be?
Well, Motherlode's Reno. That's next. That's coming up. So Reno's your main airport. You know, we are 3 hours from San Francisco, 2 hours from Sacramento. The West Coast Classic is in Riverside, so you can fly into LAX, you know, Santa Ana, Long Beach. You know, there's a million different places.
Cheap flights, or is it expensive?
What's that?
Is it cheap to fly, or is it expensive?
Oh, it depends where you're coming from, where you're going. You know, you can always count on it being $200-300 if you're flying domestically.
But even if you're going to spend that, you're saving that off a registration.
Exactly. So it's worth it for the experience. You know, people talk about the Tahoe show experience all the time. It's typically the biggest show on the West Coast because you're going to Tahoe in the summer, and it's just an amazing time. And it's part of what we do when we choose our locations, is we want it to be the kind of place you want to visit, not some like crappy town with nothing going on, you know, where you're a little worried about getting shanked.
Because I was talking about you to was it William Bonak's doing a show in Amsterdam called the Euro Muscle Show? So it's going to be like the Legion, effectively, maybe a little bit bigger in July. And they've actually partnered with Air France and KLM.
Yeah.
So they're doing discounted flights for people that want to fly in to compete in Amsterdam, which is super cool.
So we actually just met with Southwest and Delta, and we're working on the same thing. As we want to, we're working on getting negotiated rates to come into the Legion and our other events.
I mean, if a competitor got loyalty points to come and compete, you know, like on my little card or whatever, every year, say if you had like 2 shows or 3 shows, and we were going to come out and compete, and that helped towards reducing the overall cost of the next ticket out there. That'd be fucking great. Well, like, why other promoters don't think outside the box is beyond me. But some people are very short-sighted.
It's minimal effort for a lot of them, and as some of these NPC shows get small, they're losing a lot of money. You know, so they don't have the resources. Fortunately, again, we're not below that threshold that I'm seeing a lot of these at. If you have a show and it only has 50 people, that promoter is going to lose $20,000-$30,000. And we're seeing show after show after show that's like that. That means that promoter is going to cut and cut and cut. And again, I encourage athletes to look at how many people were in those shows prior to the one they're about to do. And I can tell you, I don't want to get too detailed, but there's not a lot of shows that are even breaking 100 anymore. Centrepodium, we always are well over 100.
Right.
And that means we're able to reinvest in our shows, where I'm seeing these other promoters cutting and cutting and cutting until there's where the head judge is also the MC and also the stage expediter. You know, it's getting pretty ugly. You know,
I know that's not it's not cool, but I guess a lot of that is down to the directive also. You know, Pro League and NPC worldwide, like how they're, you know, having certain standards of shows. I was speaking to Robin not too long ago about a potential collab for next year, and one of the things he really emphasizes is that every show has got to be of a good standard. If that's especially here in Europe, right? But I'd expect it to be even higher in America because NPC's been there for fucking decades.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you've got some great shows and you got some really bad ones. And what I'd like to see is definitely the worst performing ones get cut because they all just cannibalize each other. You know, adding shows.
If there's too many, and they should just like group together and share.
Yeah, and I don't know why promoters don't do that. You know, if you're promoting, you have 30 shows in basically the same region, and each show's getting 50. Why not have 15 shows with 100 and cut your costs in half? So I think they're either not great at business or it's just ego. I'm not sure which.
Or they've got deep pockets and lots of money to burn.
You know, I wonder, you know, you can only burn so much for so long. And even if you've got deep pockets, I know some of these don't have deep pockets. You know, it's just a matter of time where the decision's going to be forced because they're not going to be able to afford to put on shows.
This year, I think it's going to be super interesting, especially stateside with like the elections. And I hear the interest rates are going up again and inflation's still not coming down. And whatever happens with, you know, whether Biden wins or apparently, I don't know if you watched the Patrick Bet-David podcast yesterday, but apparently Michelle Obama is gonna replace Biden at some point after the debate because he's just not fit to continue.
I've heard that rumor. It's a fascinating rumor, and I hope, because we've got two really bad choices in the United States. We got an old guy who's out to lunch, and we got an old guy who's out for himself. You know, and you guys can figure out who's who.
Would you, so out of Obama and Trump, who would you take?
Out of Biden and Trump?
No, out of Michelle Obama, if it was her and Trump, who would you take?
You can look at the economics of the United States, and unfortunately, Americans especially don't remember past like 6 months ago. Yeah. But let's start with the Clinton years, where we had the first budget surplus ever. The stock market killed it, and then we had the Bush years for 4 years, and things started to fall apart again. Now we had Obama come in, and he inherited this garbage economy. He built it back up again, and it was awesome. Trump inherited this great economy.
But did he really build it back up again, or was it just printed money, which then led to this inflation?
No, I mean, no, that was the Trump days that led to this inflation. That was the printed money. You know, so Obama built it up.
When the banks got bailed out, they did. When 2008, 7-8, when Wall Street crashed, I thought that's when they started all the quantitative easing.
So you got to look at what banks just don't crash for no reason. It took years of mismanagement to get to that point. Right. And people think like, you know, that it just this is a big economy and it takes years to either break or fix. And what we continually to see is one party breaks it and then one party fixes it and another one breaks it again. And we look at our inflation right now. For one, I shouldn't get this political, but I'm going to. When the pandemic should never have happened. Right. And what happened was the pandemic task force was disbanded by Trump. And so when it happened, there was an improper response. Now, we had a potential SARS pandemic under Obama, but it was handled. And so we never had a worldwide pandemic. Well, the United States didn't react properly, and we ended up with a worldwide pandemic. What happened? Money was printed. $3 trillion were printed, and Trump made sure that his signature, he delayed the payments so that his signature was on the check. Right. So that's where the inflation came from, was the $3 trillion of money that they handed out under that time. So what happened was the Biden administration has inherited this insanely high interest, or it's going that way. And now, again, you got to fix it again. And now inflation is coming down.
Yeah.
So this is a pattern I've seen. I'm just giving you numbers from like the last 2
Well,
decades.
so on that podcast, I don't know how true or how accurate it is, but on that podcast, they said that Biden's added another $9 trillion of debt to what he inherited from Trump. And that's why inflation isn't coming down as quick as it is. Therefore, we're going to increase interest rates again.
That's I've heard different things, and so I don't know the data they're looking at. I've definitely
I just think if that's going to happen, then that's going to tank the economy even more, which will make it more difficult in terms of
the Fed announced essentially that they don't see any reason to increase interest rates, and they're more than likely going to decrease interest rates. And as a result, the markets responded very positively in the last 4 or 5 months, where we are at a record high in the stock market right now.
I wonder how much of that is playing just like mind fuck games with the public, though, to guarantee votes.
Well, it's all emotion, that's for sure. It's definitely. I mean, we look at, you want to see emotion. We look at things like Bitcoin, and we see like, why is this moving? Why is it swinging so much? And it's just, everybody's scared. There's a big sell-off, and the value of Bitcoin drops by 20 grand. So there's a lot of that involved. But what I see is, I think Biden's out to lunch. Like I said, I don't think he's all there, and I don't think he's a great president for us. But I do think he put in a proper team. And I think they are, for the most part, making the right steps. I don't think in every way, but they are experts in their areas of work. Where we know that Trump put in his buddies. We talked about draining the swamp, but then he just put in people that just had no purpose, no place. I can't remember her name, but the director of education, like it was some of this stuff was bonkers.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to your team. We talked about Rudy, right? You talked about his team. And if you don't have a good team in place, it doesn't matter. And you can have a team so good that, Reagan had a great team too. And so when he went fully out mentally, but his team kept things together. And I think that's where we're at, but Biden shouldn't run again.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
Neither should Trump.
I'm not. I mean, as much as you can do, like from a business perspective, irrespective of what happens with the economy, I think if you're being, as a promoter, if you're thinking outside the box, making competition more affordable for the people that want to come and jump on stage, then that's I mean, it's going to send shockwaves through the US, because everyone's going to have to compete. But you're the promoter, you're investing your money, you've got to look after your little nest egg.
Absolutely.
If other people want to do that, then maybe they will, maybe they'll go lower. But there's a limit as to how low you can go, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And there's actually the NPC, you can't sell a registration for less than $100.
Right.
And I never want to play a price game. And when we do a great deal like I have now, it's more to introduce our product. That's what I want to show, is that our product is really different than the guy next door. Right. And again, it's I always call it nurturing the market. We want these people to fall in love with the sport. And if they go and they're competing in a Holiday Inn back room, they're not going to fall in love with the sport. They're going to have worked so hard and put in so much energy, and then that's how the promoter treats them. It's a 6-inch high stage, with a garbage backdrop.
I hope you get a pro qualifier attached to one of the NPC shows, because I think well-run shows like Pittsburgh, yours. I can't speak for other ones. I've not been to. I've been to a couple of Tim Gardner productions, which are good. But like the well-run shows, I think they should be awarded just for good representation.
Yeah.
The company of a brand, like one pro card per division, and if it means they've got to take away from nationals, like 20 pro cards, then fair. But you should definitely reward your hard-working promoters and those that are doing their best to grow the sport.
Yeah, I would love to see like maybe that the NPC introduces a pathway to getting a pro qualifier. So, hey, you hit over 200 athletes on average for 4 or 5 years in a row, or something along those lines. Then you can have one pro card per division. So that there's, again, a pathway. How do we get this? And right now there isn't, and I don't really understand how it's awarded. But I would love to see there's some sort of a more transparent way of accomplishing that.
Well, I think if you're going to have that conversation, the guy at the table now, you know, Tyler and all the revolutionary things that he's doing and bringing to the table in developing the sport more, making it more promoter friendly, NPC friendly, pro friendly, new sponsorships, all these things that he's doing, I think are great. And I don't think he'd be amiss to a suggestion like that, you know, because it gives the promoter more incentive to do better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I have had some great conversations with him about other subjects that he's taken very seriously. And I don't know if it was my influence, but I definitely talked to him about weight caps in men's physique, and the response was, well, they're just going to train their upper body and not their lower body. I said, well, just judge their legs, just see if they fill the shorts. And when the standards came out, I don't know if it was my idea or not, but the standards were like, make sure your shorts are full. We're not going to make sure you're separated or this or that, but you should have a balanced physique. It is bodybuilding after all.
No, it's good. I'm glad we've got someone, no disrespect to Jim, but someone that's moving with the times and taking us in a better direction in terms of health, in terms of how the sport's promoted, in terms of the money that's being brought in from the rest of the industry. He hopefully, because he's still young, right? He still needs to mature a little bit. He's still, I don't know how old he is, what, 28?
29, 28, something like that, yeah.
Yes, I'm still like 16 years older than the kid, but he's learned fast and he's doing the right things. I can't really complain about anything he's done so far, I don't think.
Right.
So.
No, he's got the education. He learned a lot from Jim. Obviously, Jim built this incredible, it's the reason we're even having this conversation today is thanks to Jim. And then that's what you do. You bring the next guy who's going to build on what you built. We need to recommend.
100%. He's got long-term promoters like you guys around him just to have. I mean, I don't know whether it's done, but you should all have like a regional meeting, like a North America meeting, an East America meeting, a West America meeting. You know what I mean?
We used to have Ifbb promoter meetings at the Olympia. Those have gone by the wayside. I would like to see those come back again. Just nice to get everybody on the same page.
I mean, that'd be cool, but like you don't even have to be there in person. You could, if it organized it properly, you could actually have Zoom calls of every promoter in California, every promoter in Florida, every promoter in East Coast, whatever, and just shoot the shit. Like, this is what we think we do. This is how we think we should do it. What are your suggestions? Maybe we trial it at one show first, and if it's successful, we roll it out to other shows around the country or whatever. But you've got to try somewhere. You can't just keep spouting out ideas and nothing's done. As long as as long as it makes sense to him, and it's not disruptive to anyone else, and no one's losing out, I think he'll be fine with it. He's quite a fair kid, to be fair. I agree. He's not. He's just difficult to get through to sometimes.
I'm sure a lot of people are trying to get through to him.
No. Look, I texted him yesterday for the first time in a long time. Within 20 minutes, I got a response. I was like, shit. Which is impressive. But that's the first time I think I've ever reached out to him via text. If I've ever talked to him, it's always been at a competition or at a show that he's been judging at or whatever. But Chris, I need to smash my last meal.
All right, brother. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too, man. We'll catch up again, probably UK, but I'm sure we'll talk before then.
Definitely.
Maybe pick your brain about some of the other things we were talking about the other day. But good to see you, dude.
Good to see you, brother. Hey, you have a good one. Thanks for having me on.
No, dude, it's been awesome. In fact, might even make it a once a month or once every other weekend thing, depending on your schedule. But
yeah, you let me know.
Because you've got a lot of knowledge and experience you can share, not just with me, but with a lot of the European promoters out here in terms of what you're doing, how you're moving the brand forward, and hopefully you can reveal bits of this project you're doing step by step, which I'm really excited about. I think that's going to be groundbreaking in the US. It's going to be cool.
I think it's going to be.
Have lots of envious people out there, dude. That's for sure.
That's how you know you're doing it right. The more people that hate you.
All right. Well, listen. Thank you, Bob, and we'll do it again soon.
Thank you, Bob.
Take care, buddy.
All right. Take care, brother.
Bye.
Bye-bye.